Two chemists walk into a bar. One says, I think I'll have an H2O. The other says, I think I'll have an H2O too. Then he died. What's up, y'all? And welcome to Bourbon Bites, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton, and I am so glad to see you here this Thursday as we do a little bit of experimenting, hence the get up. But today we are doing our own home blend of WhistlePig whiskey. This actually was a kit that was put together with WhistlePig and Flaviar earlier back in the spring. It was to create what then became their Homestock whiskey. So we're going to do my own blend of WhistlePig and see what we can create. So let me show you guys real quick what we're working with here. If this second camera works, let's see. Okay, there we go. I got a second camera for you guys. So we got, we can see. Okay, we got WhistlePig, barley, rye, and wheat. So we're gonna do our own blend and see how it compares. We got our nice beaker here, of course. So we're gonna do our own blend and see what we come up with. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to my mods here in the chat. Donnie the Linux Cat, so good to see you here every week. Of course, Brandon Wees as well. So glad to have you guys here. I also want to give a couple of Patreon shout outs to a few people. Of course, I can't get everyone, but a few people that are patrons of the show. Want to give some shout outs to Perry from wow, that almost went wrong. Perry from This Is My Bourbon podcast. Check out his podcast and his live streams if you haven't had a chance to watch them. Also want to give a shout out to Sugar Kitty, of course, always here, and Wesley Zeller. All great patrons of the show. Speaking of patrons, we have a Patreon page if you want to support the channel. It's just patreon.com/bourbonbites. My goggles are getting fogged up here, so I may have to take these off real soon. But yes, for as little as $2 a month, you can support the channel. But pretty intense. Oh, the get up or what? For as little as $2 a month, you can support the channel. We are doing our after party hangout tonight, right after this stream, for everyone $10 and up. So if you're interested in joining the Patreon, now is a great time because I just launched a discount for an annual membership. So if you are willing, if you would like to support the channel, which your support on Patreon means the world to me, you can subscribe before the end of the year. And your total, if you do the annual membership, you will get 2 months of that year free. So if you've been thinking about joining the Patreon, or if you've been thinking about upping your tier, now is an awesome time to do that because you get a little something back from it too. But it really does mean a lot for you guys to support me in any way. And I'm mainly just glad to have you here tonight. So what are y'all drinking? I gotta take these off. They're getting foggy. These are also, I borrowed all these for Justin's. I definitely didn't take any classes where I needed a lab coat. Yeah, that's a communication major for you there. All right, so let me move that out of the way. I don't want to damage them in case he goes back to medical school or something. There we go. So what are y'all up to tonight? So good to see y'all. I mean, I've been seeing y'all in everyone's streams tonight, but everything is intense. Yeah, so what's up? Swan is here as well, Floridian. So many faces that I know. Stanley Wagner Jr., who is also a patron of the show. Welcome, guys. Welcome to our Thursday night stream. So, Lil's here. I miss Lil. I don't see... Oh, there we go. Hey, Lil. Chris and Lil, of course, have always been supporters of the channel here, too. So glad to see y'all here tonight. This is going to be a fun one. I think I've been holding on this kit for a while, mainly because I was waiting so I could get my hands on the Homestock. But now I finally got a bottle, so I thought it'd be fun to do a comparison. Now, like I said, I got the barley, the rye, and the wheat whiskeys here. They're all 100% of that grain. These are... Now, the final one that went into the Homestock was 45% rye, 30% wheat, and 25% barley. So I thought it'd be fun to taste through each of them, figure out which ones I like, and then kind of make my own blend and see how it compares to the official release. Thought it'd be pretty fun. I almost forgot. Yeah, speaking of supporting the channel, we have some blurry face. Hello. Ooh, I'm here. There we go. I thought my autofocus would be an issue tonight because I'm like putting things in front of the camera. There we go. So as a bug just flies by. So speaking of supporting the channel, we also have a thread in the store where you can get merch like this one, or you can also get a few other different designs, including my logo. If you want to go check that out, it's just bourbonbites.threadless.com. And yeah, last I guess I gotta mention is our Whiskey and Gaming Lounge over on Discord. If you're not a member of it yet, it is so much fun. It's where we do all our hangouts. We do some live streams. We do some gaming streams. Sometimes someone will just like stream a game. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. You can just go to bourbonbites.com and join that there. I'm looking forward to seeing some new faces there, hopefully, because we're doing our first our December Patreon hangout this weekend. So with that all being said, I got that all out of the way. Okay, what are y'all drinking? So Swan says he's had some worrisome amount of Knob Creek. Is there a such thing? Um, oh, William says he didn't get a notification. Oh, I'm sorry. Fred was saying earlier that he didn't get notified about my stream either. He didn't even see it as scheduled. So I don't know what's happened there. I didn't do anything different this time. I don't know. It's probably just YouTube being YouTube. I don't know. But, well, thank y'all for showing up. For those of you that did get the notification, or those of you that are here every week, so good to see y'all. What's up, Zopher? Zopher, so good to see you. Hope you're calling me Clifford as a joke, because my name is definitely Clifton, but I'm sure you mean it as a joke. What's up, Zopher? Good to see you, man. Yeah, so Brandon asked, how big are these sample bottles? These are only 50 milliliters. So I have some leftovers from when I did the blend. Like I said, they did a stream with Flaviar back in, gosh, I don't even remember. It was back in the spring. They had a few different YouTube channels. They had Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon Night. They had the Whiskey Vault. And I think there was one other channel, but they may have just been those two. But yeah, they did their own blends. So I thought I'd do my own. I think it'd be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and kick it off with, which one should we start with? Autocorrect. Oh, gotcha. Just blame it on autocorrect. That's what we all do. Donnie says, let's mash that like button. Yes, if you have not yet liked this stream, I would really appreciate it. YouTube appreciates when you like the stream because it helps me with the algorithms and the science stuff. So, yes, please hit the like button. Do we have a record we want to try to hit? Y'all name a number of the number of likes we should try to go for. Thank you, Zopher. Zopher says nice shirt, and Swan says like button hit. Appreciate it, you guys. Lab coats are not included if you buy a shirt. So we're gonna start with, which one should we start with? I think we should start with what we're most familiar with. WhistlePig is a rye. Most of their products are the single barrel rye. I almost did forget. There is one other surprise if you stick around for the stream. We have a single barrel select of WhistlePig 10 year. But what's interesting is I know for a fact that this single barrel select is 17 and a half years old. That is basically the same age as what goes into their Boss Hog whiskey. So you definitely want to stick around for that. And if you're new here, welcome. So glad to see you. My name's Clifton. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it. I have a goal of 3,000. 3,000 is my next goal. We're still about like 450 away. But you know what? Every one of you counts, and you guys coming back week to week does mean a lot. So if you haven't subscribed yet, or if you're watching the replay, what's up, hashtag replay squad, make sure to subscribe. And there's lots of really fun things coming out early next year. I've been, I went to the Repeal Day Expo this past weekend that was hosted by Fred Minnick. Met so many awesome brands there that I'm so excited for some collaborations coming up. I'm starting to get samples like filing in from these companies that want to come on the stream and do stuff. So there's lots of really, really cool stuff coming out in 2021. Honestly, anything coming out in 2021 is going to be better than 2020 because we don't need any more of that. So Donnie says, are we at 30 likes or is 30 the goal? I can't see because I don't have the YouTube pulled up. But either way, we'll see. It's either a goal or we've just hit it. Either way, I appreciate y'all so much. Anyways, let's go ahead and pour some whiskey. I've been talking far too long. All right, so let's use my. We'll save that glass for when we're doing our final blend. Mad Bourbon Scientist, Brandon says, is a Halloween costume. That could be fun. Tim, I did see you there. It was good to see you, man. There were a few people there. There was someone else that was on Discord that stole Perry and my boat. I don't know if Perry's still here, but yeah, we were trying to get a boat brought to us. We asked tech support to bring us a boat. For those of you who don't know, it was a virtual world, like a kind of Second Life kind of thing. So we were like, hey, where do we get a boat? And the employee's like, I'll go bring you one. And then as soon as he brought it over, someone stole the boat. It was hilarious, y'all. I hope they put up some highlights from that. I think Fred is uploading some of them, but Swan says, Clifton, I need to send you a sample of the Castle and Key Rye. Oh my God, Swan, I would love you. I think Ian may also. I need to check with Ian because I think Ian offered to do that too. I'll need to check with him because if he's already sending me one, don't need one, but I need to check with him. But thank you so much, Swan. That's awesome. I would love to try that. I'm so excited for that one. Honestly, y'all know I love Castle and Key. One of the coolest distillery tours I did when I was in there in Kentucky. So, oh yeah, $3.50 is cheap for Boss Hog. We're at 15. Gotcha, Swan. You guys, 15 more likes. We had 23 viewers. All it takes is just one click. You don't have to, of course, but hope you're gonna enjoy yourself tonight. So maybe hold on your thumb. Sit on your thumb. No. Wait on that thumb and see if my blend is any good. And if it sucks, then you don't have to give me a thumbs up. I would like not to get any thumbs downs, but hey, you know what? You rate how you want to rate. Anyways, gosh, I need to stop talking. I need to drink some whiskey. So yes, WhistlePig. We're good. My beaker started to fall, and I grabbed it. We're good. Sorry if that was loud, you guys. All right, so we're going to start with the rye. Now, WhistlePig is based out of Vermont. However, most of their 10-year-old release is sourced from Alberta. So it is a Canadian whiskey. So get that out of the way first. But, what's up, Whiskey Brick? I don't think oh, new subscriber here. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hopefully, there we go. Oh, I need to move that down. Oh, well. It's covering my face. Thank you so much, Whiskey Brick. I really appreciate the sub. Yeah, so the only way this pop up is if you have your subscriptions public. So if y'all haven't subscribed and you have public subscriptions, you get to see your name on the screen. It doesn't work if you unsubscribe and resubscribe. Don't worry, I've tried. But so good to have you, Whiskey Brick. Thanks for popping in. Nick Proman is also, I don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Hopefully you are enjoying it so far. I always feel bad because I feel like there's probably people that I've seen in one or two other streams, and I'm so bad with names, you guys. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to pour the rye first. If I can take this top off. These gloves don't help. Oh, wow, it's a cork. I was sitting here twisting this endlessly. First newbie lesson, learn and came out is what to do with broken glassware. That's a good point. All right, we're just now I do have some more of this. This is just what's left of my sample that I already opened. So this is just the pure rye whiskey. It is aged 4 years, and it's 43% ABV, 86 proof. These are this one's 4 years old. I got some info about it. It's Vermont Oak Char number 3. If you're curious, I'm going to finish that because I have a whole nother bottle of it to do with the blend. Uh-oh, Swan's screen cut out. Did anyone else's screen cut out? Hopefully, I noticed Ed was having some technical difficulties with his stream earlier today. So I'm wondering if maybe YouTube's just like acting up today. I don't know. Yeah, so this is the 100% rye mash bill. I mean, it's not even a mash bill. It's just their rye whiskey. It almost goes like a little bit Play-Doh. I don't know why. It leans towards like the marzipan kind of. It's very, that's interesting. That smells different, and it's, just make sure it's not the gloves. The gloves do not have a scent. I made sure these are odorless gloves. All right, thank y'all for letting me know it is good to go. Yeah, the nose goes like, it's almost like a marzipan. Like I say Play-Doh, and that's like not a very appealing nose, but it's really interesting. So I gotta try it. I mean, this has been open for a little while, but I would imagine it'd still be good. Oh, that's weird. I mean, it's a rye whiskey. That tastes like the most rye I've ever gotten. It doesn't necessarily go with those those peppermint notes. It's like rye bread. Very bready, actually. It has a really nice, like a chocolatey sweetness on the finish. Yeah, but it's unlike a lot of ryes. It almost, now I say chocolatey, that does remind me of like a chocolate grain rye, like Balcones does. It could maybe, I don't know exactly which, rye grain they use for this, but, Fred says, why am I wearing gloves? Because science, Fred. I had glasses earlier too, but I couldn't see it. They were fogging up. Welcome, Fred. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's take another sip of the rye and see what I can find in it. That does have a really nice mouthfeel. I will say flavor-wise, it's kind of weird. And I know it's not what you would expect it to be. It doesn't just taste like your typical Canadian rye. This tastes like straight up rye grain. It's like almost, and I kind of, my only gripe about this set is I wish they wouldn't have proofed it down to the 43% ABV. But you work with what you can get. So that one is pretty interesting, but I'm very curious to see how it compares to the wheat and the barley, which is what we're going to try next. Those are the 3 components we can make our blend out of tonight. Swan says, you gotta reach out to Virgil Cane Rye. They have a chocolate thing going on with theirs. Ooh, Virgil Cane. I recognize that name, and I feel like I know what their bottle looks like, but I've never tried it. I definitely look into that, because I do like a good chocolate note on a rye. So yeah, this is the wheat. This is the WhistlePig wheat. Now this is a 5-year-old recharred wheat whiskey, American oak barrel. Now they don't say. We know WhistlePig does some sourcing, so I don't actually know. Some of y'all may know. These whiskeys here, with them being only 4 years old and 5-year-old, are they making these their own? Like, is this their own distillate? I'm curious. Well, I guess I can find out from the final bottle. Oh no, they're a blend. They're different. So the rye is a Vermont rye, so that is their own product. The 4-year-old rye is their own. The wheat and the barley are 5 years old and Canadian. So those are Canadian whiskeys. But the rye that we just had was Vermont. Interesting. That may be why it tasted different. It didn't taste like your typical rye, that especially Canadian rye. Interesting. Well, that's good to know. So this wheat whiskey is going to be a Canadian wheat whiskey. This is probably going to be way more familiar with what I'm used to. Oh yeah, that nose is beautiful. It's very floral and fruity. Not nearly as grainy. Like the rye was very grain forward, which I mean, I guess it's their own stuff. It's pretty young. Chocolate porter barrels. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Man, I definitely gotta look that up after the stream. Whew, that's really nice. And there's honestly this one I much prefer. So I was trying to debate how I would do the blend because I only really got one shot at this because I've used most of the kit already. So I think what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to rate all of these out of 10, but it can only be a maximum of 10 if that makes sense. So if I give this an 8 out of 10, well no, that doesn't work. We'll figure it out as we go. But I want to try them individually first before we decide how we're going to blend them. So this smells delicious. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. Cheers, guys. Very easygoing. Again, wish they didn't proof it down. It goes, oddly enough, it gives you some of those, like the mint characteristics that I would get on a rye, even though this is a wheat whiskey. It is still light, kind of like, and you know, it's not nearly as in depth as like a Maker's Mark, but it's still, I much prefer the wheat to their rye, I will say that. Now the rye might help spice up that wheat when they're blended together. What's up, Trev Wilson? Another mod here. Welcome, Trev. So good to see you, man. No worries about being late. I'm doing some blending here today. That's hence that get up. I have to explain it because people are wondering why I have a glove. I made a thumb joke earlier. So yeah. So we're gonna do some blending. I'm tasting through them first before we do a blend and then compare it to the final product. By the way, where are we on likes? Our goal was 30 likes, so I need to pull up the thing so I can just see. But if any one of my mods want to tell me what number we are at with our likes, we got a goal of 30. Can we hit it tonight? If so, I don't know what I'll do because I don't have anything else here. Oh, I can do a test tube shot. I'm not going to go into detail about what that is, but there's a test tube of something on my desk, and I will drink it if we get to 30 likes. So hit that like button. Use your thumbs for something good. Yeah, that's really toasty. It's reminiscent of like a toasted barrel, part, like the Elijah Craig toasted barrel. It's got that really sweet, almost it's not quite marshmallow. It would definitely be more marshmallow if I knew it was like a toasted barrel. But Fred says we're at 19. Awesome. What's up, my bourbon Johnny? Check out his channel. He's putting out some amazing content. Are you doing an advent calendar? I feel like everyone's doing an advent calendar except me, so I just assume everyone's doing an advent calendar. If you are, go check out Scott's advent calendar. But awesome channel over here on YouTube. Go check him out. And check out Trev's channel too. I forgot. I was like, wait, Trev also has a channel. 21 likes, awesome. Which, by the way, welcome Patrick, another amazing patron, Bourbon Gigabyte level. Patrick is one of the few that gets access to a private hangout with Dr. Cliffy. That's wrong. That's just wrong. So, Trev Wilson is seeing 29 likes. Okay, y'all hitting that thumbs up. Okay, well we'll do a test tube shot. If y'all stick around to the end. Appreciate y'all. We're almost at 30. I assume we'll get one more like. We'll see. Hey Jen, welcome. Good to see you. I saw you in Ed's chat earlier. Well, this is a bit different of a test tube shot, but it's just something within my range, within my reaching range. 30 likes, awesome. Y'all are awesome. You know what? I'll go ahead and just cheers that to you guys for that. So I thought this would kind of go with the whole scientist theme, and it's also a wheat whiskey. This are part of the Evan Williams American whiskey set. Different tasters of their different products. This is their Bernheim wheat whiskey. These are really hard to open with gloves on. So, well, this will be an interesting comparison. We just tried a wheat from Canada. What can a wheat whiskey from the US taste like? Now, this is almost the same proof, 45% ABV. So, cheers, guys. It's been a minute since I've had this. This is good. Now, Don't take this as advice. If you are a scientist in a lab, don't drink from your test tubes. I assure you, it will not taste as good as this does. Fascinating. So that one, compared to the Canadian wheat whiskey, this one's way more oak forward. I mean, I don't know for sure how long Heaven Hill ages this one. I don't think there's an age statement on the bottle, but it's not on this. This one has a lot more of that oak influence. The other wheat whiskey, which we know is 5 years old, is way more subtle. This has some spice, being only 3 proof points higher. I'm very surprised that this drink's so much warmer than the other one. But I will say that WhistlePig wheat is a big contender. It's going to be pretty high up in my blend. I can guarantee you that. As a scientist in a lab, Adriana says, can confirm. Well, thank you for all you do, Adriana. I don't know what kind of science you're doing, but I am a big proponent of women in STEM fields. My day job, I have a TV show that, I have a TV show. We have a TV show on CBS every Saturday morning called Mission Unstoppable with Miranda Cosgrove. It's all about women in science, technology, engineering, and math. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, check that out. They also have a Twitch stream too. So if you're curious about learning about more women that are in science and technology, go check that out. Really cool show. Miranda Cosgrove's awesome. I mean, I've loved her since I was well, I guess she's younger than me, so I've loved her since I was 16. So it's not weird. All right, so let's move on. We got one more to try in this set, and then we're gonna decide on our proportions for our blend. So this is what's left of the WhistlePig wheat. That one's really, really good. I'm a huge fan of that wheat. Who would have thought that wheat whiskey from WhistlePig would be so good? Adriana says that sounds amazing. Yeah, it's a really cool show, and we're launching our season 2 on January 2nd. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So Brandon coming in with the info here. Oh, Sugar Kitty's here. Sorry, I missed it. Sugar Kitty. Brandon and Sugar Kitty say that Bernheim is 7 years. So 2 years can make a lot of difference when it comes to wheat whiskey. Now, again, it's Canadian whiskey versus American. There are some other differences there, but I will say the Bernheim is very spicy. Now, should we? No, I'm not gonna. Let's see if our blend doesn't end up being good, I may add some Bernheim to it to see if we can make it a little better. So next one is the Barley Whiskey. So this one is, maybe see it, maybe no. Well, there we go. Barley Whiskey, aged 5 years. The same proof as all the other ones. 43% ABV. Yeah, and this one is also a Canadian whiskey. So Strong coming in with the Drake and Josh references. I mean, that's how I first met. That's how I first knew of. I almost said Mariana or something. I don't know. That's how I first knew of Miranda. Yeah, I love Drake and Josh. Okay, so this is the Barley Whiskey. Now, this one's going to be the weird one, I think. I'm not the biggest barley person. I mean, of course, I do, dabble in scotch, as I say. But I'm very curious to see how it tastes on its own, especially from Canada. Now, this one is a recharred American cask, for those curious. Huh, that's interesting. It's similar to the rye note, like that kind of marzipan kind of note. But to me, it's more of like a full. That's my South Carolina coming out. It's more of like a full, well-rounded nose. It gives it some depth. I think it makes it more complex, even though this by itself isn't complex. I think in a blend, this can bring out some of the other notes that I was really liking in the other ones, but maybe round them out a bit. So let's go ahead and try it. Cheers, guys. Ooh, I got a really interesting note there. It was like a roasted peanut note. Ooh, that's actually really... I get peanuts a lot on whiskey. Peanuts, by the way. I get peanuts a lot on whiskey. But that was really roasty. And I wonder how it would combine with that toastiness of the wheat. So I'm already going to tell you right now, I think the wheat and the barley are going to be the biggest ones in my blend that I do. And then maybe some rye to spice it up a bit at the end. So... man, that's. I really think the barley and the wheat are really, really good whiskeys, and that's Canadian whiskey. Y'all know I'm not very experienced with Canadian whiskey. I did do a stream, probably almost a year ago now, where a viewer of the show, Peter White, who I was actually chatting with earlier, sent over some amazing Canadian whiskeys, including the whiskey of the year, the Alberta Premium Cask Strength. So go scroll way, 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 way back in my videos, and you'll find that one. And subscribe while you're on my channel page, because if you're not subscribed. Roasty and toasty. That's what I would name my whiskey. No, that's not that interesting. Yeah, so it's not quite a Jim Beam peanut. That's what's interesting with the Jim Beam. It's almost, I think of more of like the I want to say circus peanuts, but not the fake candy thing. I'm talking about, like, when you buy a bag of peanuts that is like covered in salt. I guess those are technically roasted peanuts. So maybe that's I don't want to say boiled peanuts, because half of y'all won't know what that is, and half of y'all will be like, "What the hell?" I love boiled peanuts. That was one of my favorite like guilty pleasures of being in South Carolina. Speaking of which, the sad news of the day is I just canceled my trip home for Christmas. I'm in Southern California. COVID is going very, very crazy out here, so I figured it'd be safer for everyone involved, for me not to travel, for myself, including my family. So it's kind of a bummer of a day, but hopefully y'all are definitely cheering me up, and hopefully I can get drunk on the hangout after, and we can have a good time, because it's very sad to have to do that, but it's just what you got to do in 2020. So all right, we got some boiled peanuts lovers. Okay, let me make sure that's what I'm getting on it. Swan makes a good point. So Swan says it's traditionally done the way you're blending tonight. They age them separately and blend them into a final product in Canada. Yeah, there's a few other whiskeys that have done that. Sagamore, actually, they have a Manhattan finish that I actually reviewed on a stream recently too, that blends. They age them all separately and they blend them to create a Manhattan flavor profile. It's really, really cool. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. This Gamecock knows boiled peanuts. Don't want the whiskey smelling like them though. Oh, Gamecock, awesome. Yeah, I'm from upstate South Carolina, or like I'm kind of near the Charlotte area, but most of my friends went to I hate to say this is like blasphemy because I'm in Southern California right now, but the real USC is in South Carolina. Hashtag boiled peanut crew. So Danny's Candy says, you're right, Clifton. Finally got back into the WhistlePig blending samples. Oh, you got some too. Did anyone else get these? They sent it out to a few people. It was like a kind of first come, first serve thing. And actually I got mine from Chad and Sarah. They offered a kit to me, so really appreciative of them. But yeah. Yeah. So I always, my desk is right by the window, so like whenever someone walks by, I'm always like, I'm just gonna be quiet now because this is awkward. Anyways, sorry. Anyways, Daddy says the barley is quite nutty. Yeah, for sure. Lil said, well, that's sad. I hope you can at least do a Zoom call or something with your mom. Oh, yeah. Her and I don't usually do like a FaceTime kind of thing, but I told her, like, I guarantee you I will be FaceTiming you all the week of Christmas because, one, I'm not working, so, like, I need something to do. And two, I really miss her, and it's been over a year since I've seen her, and it sucks. But anyways, appreciate that, Lil. And Tony also says, sending hugs. That's a rough call, but the right one. Stay safe. I appreciate that so much, Tony. Hey, Ledoux, what's up? Sorry, Whiskey Break. I missed the comment earlier. It says, if you have ECBP, the C920 in specific, mix it half and half with Knob Creek, single barrel 120. Tremendous. Well, Whiskey Break, it's funny you mentioned that. My friend actually, I don't know if he wasn't part of it, but there was this, I don't know the details. I'm not going to try to pretend to know the details, but there's a product called the Kansas City Shuffle. And it's what it is two different store picks. One is of Elijah Craig, and one is of Knob Creek. They're both store picks, but it's a blend voted on by like all the members of this whiskey society. I guess it's the Kansas City Whiskey Society. I don't know, but I have it over here. I mean, I don't want to pull it out now because it's not related to this at all. But it's like a blend of their Knob Creek and their Elijah Craig, and it is fantastic. I will tell you right up front. So that sounds like a really delicious blend too. I'm gonna have to do that one with that one and see how they compare side by side. Tom says I'm later to the party than Trev was. No, all good, Tom. I haven't done my blend yet. I was from Border with Charlotte Carowinds. Oh yeah, Carowinds was like, I went there. I had a season pass every year growing up. Yeah, the real USC is South Carolina. I know. Lived in Charlotte for years. Oh yeah, y'all are all from. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I miss it. I was really looking forward to going back for Christmas, but yeah, not able to. But you know what? There's always another time. I'd rather keep my family safe and keep them around for another year and then go. Anyways, with that, I think we're about ready to do our blend. What do y'all think? We're about our halfway point here in the stream. By the way, again, I'm seeing so many new faces I've never seen here tonight. I appreciate y'all showing up, and if you like this, I go live every Thursday, as well as occasionally on a Saturday for a gaming stream. On Saturday, I'm actually trying the new Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to be doing that with some sample bottles that have been sent in from viewers. So if you're curious about that game, or you just want to watch me drink some random whiskeys, tune in on Saturday. That'll be at about 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, since all y'all from the Carolinas. Oh yeah, Frugal McDougal's. I didn't see when I lived out there. Wasn't really into whiskey. I went to college at Charleston. So I got into whiskey when I was in Charleston, but not when I was back up home in like the Charlotte area. So, yeah. But I have been to Frugal McDougal's. They have an awesome selection. I actually had a Weller 107 pick from there that I got last Christmas. Wheels, our buddy Wheels, who isn't here in the chat, Brandon, he is also local to that area. So I don't know if you guys know Wheels, but he's an awesome guy. He and I went to Frugal McDougal together as well. So yeah, I miss the stuff up there. So, oh god, Brandon's doing some research. The other Brandon's doing some research. USC was founded in 1880, and University of South Carolina was founded in 1801. So yours was founded first, but it's not the real USC. Well, that proves you wrong, Brandon, because we were the first. So, anyways, let's get on with our blend, shall we? So let me turn on our camera number 2. Let me move this out of the way. All right, let's see what we can see. So while I get it set up, I'm just going to show like a little version of it. We'll see. This is the first time I'm using a second camera, so apologies if it's not the most professional. It's just an experiment. Okay. So yeah, that focus is kind of off, but so we got this graduated cylinder here. There are markings up to 50 milliliters here. So that is, we're going to aim for trying to get, what do we say? Yeah, let's just make 50 milliliters the goal. I can finish a whole glass. I mean, why not? we can always save some of my blend too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that blend, and while it sits and mingles, I'm going to taste the original Homestock, like the official release, and then I'm going to come back to it. So I'm going to let it mingle just a little bit. Of course, got my WhistlePig glass here, sent to me, also part of the kit. So yeah, so this is where we're gonna put the blend, but we're gonna mix it in this first. So apologies if it's kind of out of focus. I don't really know the best way to fix it. This is honestly, I've had this webcam since like probably middle school, so it was really old. I found it back in storage, so it probably looks. Let me see if we can make it a little bigger there. All right, it's kind of out of focus, but we'll go with it for now. All right, so you can see the 10 milliliter mark there. So okay, I'm gonna start with the one that I like the least. I would have to say my least favorite had to have been the rye. So we're going to start with the rye. Now, we're going to try to get a goal of 50. So what I'm thinking so far is barley gave it the most interesting mouthfeel. It gave it a nice, well-rounded experience. The wheat gave it the best flavor. So I think barley and wheat should absolutely be the top ones there. Maybe a bit more wheat than the barley. So I would probably go, so we're talking in terms of, maybe we shouldn't be doing 50 milliliters. Maybe that's too much. Okay, let's do 40 milliliters and should do 30. I don't know. 50 milliliters. I'm gonna probably pour too much, but it's okay. I can carry it over to the after party, which I said is for patrons that are $10 and up. So if you want to join tonight, like I said, annual membership gets you 2 months free. So if y'all want to be part of our after party, join patreon.com/bourbonbites. Tons of fun, and your name will pop up here when you become a patron. So, anyways, Brandon asked, does the home blend have a breakdown of the products of what's in it? Yes, it does. And we're going to, I'll go ahead and go over that. So what was in the original home blend was 45% of the rye, 30% wheat, and 25% barley. Well, that's a completely different direction that I want to go with it. I'm going to go mostly, all right, what do I think? How about this? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 25 milliliters of the wheat. I think that was really, really good. The wheat, let me pour the rest of the sample first. Be resourceful here. I think the wheat was the real winner for me tonight so far. So I'm going to put 25 milliliters of that. Let me see if I can see it. All right, so that's the first of this. That was just finishing off this sample bottle. I'm going to open up the other one real quick. Appreciate y'all's patience while I do this. Again, I got to be really scientific with it. All right, so let me get the other wheat. I got to take the gloves off. Wait. I wish I had some sexy music. Hey, I will say, if you send a super chat, any super chats that come through tonight, the first one that comes through, I'm going to sexually remove my glove with my mouth just for you. So if you guys want to send a super chat, you can do that over in the chat over there. But until then, I'm just going to struggle try and do this with gloves. Just kidding. But I do appreciate any super chats that do come through tonight. Really does help out the channel and helps me do more fun stuff like this. Even though WhistlePig nor Flaviar sponsored this stream, this is totally just me having this kit. So I would say make more streams like this possible. But there are some really cool ones coming up in 2021. Lil said, "Oh my God, Lil, I know you want it. I know you want it. You or Chris. Chris is my bourbon daddy. So if one of y'all want to send a super chat, you get the gloves removed just for you." Let me do something real quick. All right, I looked up something. I don't want y'all to see my search results, what I just looked up, but I found it. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we got something ready to go when that comes through, but we're gonna finish this 25 mils of the wheat whiskey. All right, so we're at. Oh, of course, Lil. Of course, Lil had to do it. Well, Lil, this one's for you. Wait. This one's for you. Oh my God, I'm eating them. This is the sexiest thing you've ever seen. You know it's right. I'm just eating them at this point. That's what happens when you use gloves from like 10 years ago. Yeah, you see that fucking... Sorry. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away there. That was for you, Lil. Now everyone's tuning out. They're like, what in the fuck did I just sign up for? That's what happened when Cliffy makes an appearance. Yeah, that was not nearly as graceful as I expected that to go. But that was for you, Lil. Only for you. Anyways, oh my God, let me finish this whiskey so we can make this blend, get it going. All right, we're pouring 25 mils, so. All right, we got 25 of the wheat whiskey there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's 25. Swan says, this is the content I am here for. That was so bad, I know. Well. The words of George Takai. Oh, my. Well, I appreciate y'all not leaving. Only a couple people left. Only a couple people were offended by that. That's the content you're here for, folks. All right, so we got 25 mils of the wheat whiskey. Let's go ahead and add about 15. I'll say 20. We'll do 20 mils of the barley. So let me just gonna go ahead and pour it in the mixing glass here. I need to work on technique. I know, Emily. Emily, teach me. Teach me your ways. All right, so that was the 25 of the wheat. So let's go ahead and add the barley in. I think this is my second favorite. We'll do about 20. This is gonna be a big ass pour, but I'll sip on it throughout the night. It'll be fine. Trev says, I just need to highlight that comment. What on earth did I just witness, and why did I enjoy it so much? That's bourbon bites, y'all. Y'all, if that got you worked up, just wait till what else is in store for 2021. I'm like, I can't see it. It's like my lighting is really hard for me to see what's what. Okay, so we're gonna pour about 20 of this one. So just a little, maybe a little under 20, we'll say. No, for scientific purposes, we'll do 20. You know what? That's about 18. We'll do 18. That's what was left in that sample bottle, so. Yeah, it was the gloves' fault. Absolutely. Also, don't put your used gloves in your mouth. Bad idea. All right, so, and our last one is the rye. Now, the rye, I think, is the one that I didn't really enjoy the most. So I'm going to put I put 15. So I'll put 15. No, I put 18 of that. So I'll put, what is this, 13? No. All right. 25. Hey, Google, what's 25 plus 13?
The answer is 38.
38. So we need 12 more ounces. So we're going to put 12 ounces. 12 ounces of the rye whiskey. So that way it'll be an even mix to get up to 50 milliliters. Now, of course, you can always get your percentages by doubling that. But we're gonna do 12 milliliters right now. So if I can pour it accurately, I guess I can go back to the full screen for you guys to see that. All right, maybe. Yeah. So if y'all can see the 20 right there. So yeah, close enough. Second camera again from the early 2000s. Just a little bit more. That's about right at 12. Did I say 12 or 13? I said 12. Okay. All right, so gonna pour that in. Oh, I'm sorry. I made everyone's Google go off. I'm sorry. Oh, did I say 12 ounces? No, I meant 12 milliliters. Thank you for the correction, Brandon. I'm sorry for everyone's Googles. Math. Hey, did I claim to be a scientist? I just look like one. I'm not. I am a communications major. All right, so while that mingles, I'm going to give it a little swirl, of course. But while that mingles, that is a very big pour. Oh, well. I'm going to let that mingle. But I'm going to try the Homestock blend, the official WhistlePig blend. So Scotch Comics says, hey Clifton, I just left Scotch for Dummies live stream. Was more curious of your stream. Plus yours are more fun. Well, I appreciate and love all the other whiskey tubers out there, but I appreciate you coming over. I know there's a lot of conflicts with people doing streams at the same time. Honestly, I've thought about so many different times, and honestly, this is the best fit for me. Because I know it's late for everyone on the East Coast, I know, but right now this is the best fit. Again, I do have a Saturday stream. I don't think anyone else goes live at that time on Saturday, so if it's more easier for you guys to make that one, it's typically more gaming focused, but I also, of course, always have whiskey, because let's be honest, I'm a whiskey channel. Alright, so let me turn off the second camera, since you guys don't need to see that. But let's go ahead and review the official Homestock blend. Halfway to a Perry pour, that's right, Swan. Not quite a Perry's pour. When I picked it up and looked at it, I was like, you know what, that's not that big of a pour, but it's 50 milliliters, that's a pretty big pour. Okay, so let's go into our review of WhistlePig Homestock Rye. Now, like I said, this is the result of that blending event that Flaviar and WhistlePig did earlier this year. They had, like I said, Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbonite. They had the Whiskey Tribe guys there. I don't know if it was their blend that influenced it. It was kind of, I don't know. I think it was kind of like a marketing thing, let's be honest. But anyways, the ending blend that was supposedly sourced from everyone that was involved in this. So I did submit my blend for there. Now, that was also in spring, so I don't know if my palate has changed. This is a totally new blend tonight. Theirs is 45% of the rye, 30% of the wheat, and 25% of the malted barley. So, it's going to be vastly different than ours, but I'm curious to see which I prefer. Oh, what's up, Ed? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, if y'all missed Ed's stream earlier, he goes live before me every Thursday, just an hour before me, so definitely go check him out. He had a really fun Christmas gift recommendation. Speaking of which, if y'all missed it, I posted my Christmas gift recommendation. So I posted on Tuesday. So I posted part 2 on Tuesday. Part 1 I did about 2 weeks ago, where I suggested my top 5 whiskeys to give as gifts this year. Now they're very different. They're all at different price points. But then on this past Tuesday, I made a part 2, which is 5 whiskey accessories to give your friends or to give whiskey drinkers in your life. So if you missed that, just go over to my channel. I think they're featured at the top of the channel. Yeah, go if you're curious about giving gifts for your whiskey friends or to give suggestions to your friends that are buying you whiskey gifts, go check that out. But also check out Rockgut. He just did a stream about different whiskeys that he recommends. So always good to support other channels. And there's been so many other channels that have done it. Danny's Candy says I like a later live stream. I appreciate that. I know it's tough for everybody on the East Coast, but it just fits in with everyone else's schedule. I don't like overlapping with people, especially people that do bourbon, mostly bourbon content. That's why, like with Scotch channels, I overlap with them, and I know I hate it. I really hate to do it, but it's a necessity. But to be fair, there is a pretty big divide between that community and this one. But there's plenty of us that enjoy both. I enjoy both, but I'm just saying in like the whiskey tube world, if that makes sense. I'll quit rambling and get onto this whiskey. So yes, this is the finished product, the home blend, not my home blend, but the WhistlePig home blend. And we're gonna try it while mine mingles and let you know what I think. So on the nose, wait? Oh, I'm smart. You know why? Immediately got that marzipan kind of Play-Doh note on the nose. Just make sure. Yeah. So I got a lot of that up front. Now they use that as the majority of what they use in this blend. So it is a little odd. Not my favorite nose on a whiskey, I'll say that. Lil says middle of the day on in Australia. As long as we aren't working, we join in. Well, I appreciate y'all so much for joining all the way across the country, world, not country, world. Tony says just finished my Thursday night Dungeons and Dragons game, so this fits perfectly. Hey, well, that's a great. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna ruin my like nerd like street cred here. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. So many of my whiskey friends play it, but like I never played it when I was younger. So like I need to find a local Dungeons and Dragons group here. So if y'all know of any in Southern California, Los Angeles area, let me know. But it's got to be good for beginners because I'm very interested. It seems like really tons of fun, but I just never tried it. Yeah, marzipan and Play-Doh, Steven. That's what I get. Oh, well, Cheech says we are East Coasters and your time slot works for us. Well, that's why I try to limit it to that 1 hour point. We're coming in. We got 13 minutes left, so I know, for shame, I know. But I like to limit it to an hour because I don't want to keep you all up all night. And I also want to have time for the after party for my patrons. So it works well enough. But I appreciate y'all saying it works for you. That means a lot to me. Emily says later is better with booze. That's always good. All right, so yeah, nose is not my favorite, but let's go and give it a try. Cheers. It has those really nice mouthfeel characteristics that I was getting on the barley. Now, barley is what the least amount they have, and they have 25% barley. This one goes... It has that nice mouthfeel, but I don't feel like... let's be honest. We're reviewing this whiskey as... I need to stop breaking it down to its parts. We're reviewing this whiskey as a product in itself. Not everyone gets to do their own blend like this. I'm just experimenting because I have these kids. On its own, I guess I need to change my mindset, review it as a finished product. It is very interesting. It's very good for a mostly Canadian whiskey, for a blended, 3-part whiskey. It's pretty good. The nose is not my favorite. I still stand by that. Goes a little marzipan. It's really nice mouthfeel. It's one of my. It's got that viscosity that I really loved in my favorite, the barley viscosity, but it's it's interesting. So like I said, that was 45, 30, 25. Now let me break mine down into percentages because I feel like that's needed. So I did 25 of the wheats. So that's 50. I'm just writing this out so I can refer to them. So I did 50% of the wheat. I did 18 times 2. Oh God, math. I'm not going to ask my Google because I don't want to bother you. 18 times 2. God, I'm so bad with multiplication tables. 36. All right. So it's 50% wheat, 36% of the malted barley. Or not malted barley. I don't know if it's malted. It's just barley. And then 12. So 24. Let's make sure that adds up. 24, yeah. And then 24% of the rye. That was my final blend. So if you missed that, it's 50. Oh, Ledoux sent its $2 or $10 super chat. By the way, I need to move those down. There we go. That's what they're supposed to be. They're not supposed to cover my face. So he says, thanks for the laugh. Needed that today. Well, Ledoux, I'm so glad to provide that. We all need more laughter in 2020 and going into 2021. So appreciate that super chat. It means a lot. So cheers to you, Ledoux. I'm going to taste this one more time real quick. Yeah, it's fine. That's the home blend, the official release. But we had to try my blend. I think it's been mingling a good bit. Now, of course, ideally you'd want to let this sit, for several days, let it mingle. We don't got that kind of time because we got 10 minutes left of the stream, and I still have to review my 17.5-year-old single barrel. These streams go by so fast. I hope y'all have fun hanging out here tonight. I see most of y'all seem to stuck around for it, so hopefully y'all enjoy spending your Thursday nights with me. Just an hour of your Thursday night. But it does mean a lot to have you guys here and enjoying this with me. So let's get into the nose on my blend. Again, this is 50% wheat, 36% malted I keep saying malted barley. I don't know if it's malted. 36% barley and 24% rye. Okay, there's a lot more of that marzipan note that I got on the rye than I expected. I mean, it is 24%. It doesn't quite overtake it. Yeah, the nose is just, it doesn't seem that interesting, and I'm sad because I mainly focused on making this really good nose of a whiskey. It is fruity. That wheat definitely shows. That 50% wheat absolutely shines through. But it does, that marzipan from the rye, maybe, honestly, I would probably put a little less rye if I was going to do this blend again. But I mean, the nose isn't everything. We got to give it a try. So cheers, guys, to Cliffy's blend of WhistlePig. I think the big thing that shines through is that well-roundedness of the barley and the mouthfeel of the wheat. I think those are still highlighted very much in the flavor of it. I do miss a little bit more of that spice, and now it's like, should I have added more rye? They put way more rye than I did. Maybe it needs more rye to kick up the spice a bit. But wait, so Sugar Katie says marzipan plus Play-Doh equals 4-year-old patisserie pastry. I don't, big words. I know I'm a scientist and all that. That's big words for me. Yeah, man, I'm a little let down by this. So I'm going to definitely say what I would change about it. I think it needs a little extra spice from that rye. I would probably bump, if I was going to do this again, I'd probably bump the wheat down to about 40%. Keep the barley at about 36, and then add another 10% of the rye. I think that extra 10% would not quite, the nose of it, I guess, is too rye heavy, but it needs that rye kick. It needs a little bit more flavor there. So we're getting a little closer to what they actually released. So honestly, maybe they have the perfect blend. I don't know, but I want to do something fun for today. So that was my idea. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, but don't go anywhere. There's a 17-year-old whiskey coming up soon. And by soon, I mean like now, because I only have 7 minutes left. Oh, it's a French pastry shop. Okay, I wasn't that far off. It was a pastry shop. All right, so you know what? I'm going to leave my blend. There. I'm going to pour the rest of the Homestock into this glass because we have a very, very special whiskey to get to round out our night tonight. And that is... Someone said, bless my heart, Cliffy. So that is a 10... No, this is a little misleading, and I'm going to tell you why. This says 10-year-old, aged 10 years, single barrel rye. It was selected by, it's kind of funny, K&L Swine Merchants. Isn't that cute? It's barrel number 2021. So, let's speed run it. That's basically what I'm doing, Steven. All right, so the reason I know that this is a 17-and-a-half-year-old whiskey is because this store is really cool. If you're not aware of K&L Wine Merchants and you're in Southern California, absolute favorite liquor store. I go there way too much. I spend way too much money there. Speed. Oh my God, Steven, I love it. Steven, that's awesome. I'm stealing that moving forward. So for those of you that don't know, I started a new series where I do bite-sized reviews with bite, like bourbon bites. That's what I call it. But maybe I should call it bite-sized speed run or something. Oh my God, I love that, Steven. I'm totally using that because it goes perfectly with the gaming thing. Oh my God, you're the best. You're the best admin on our Discord, which, by the way, if y'all missed it earlier, our Discord is our whiskey and gaming lounge. You can join it. Everyone's able to join it. It's just bourbonbites.com. It'll let you sign up there, but we have a lot of fun over there. Steven helps me run that. So cheers to you, Steven. Let's go ahead and pour the 17.5-year-old whiskey. Now, like I said, this store tells you, let me just read what they said. All right. Barrels are overlooked or just never find the right... On rare occasions, funny things happen in whiskey warehouses. Barrels are overlooked or just never find the right distillery release to be blended in. Maybe they're too tucked away and never get sampled. It's not clear what happened to this lot of 4 barrels, but word from the distillery is they were tagged for the 10-year single barrel program ages ago. Like at least 7 long years ago. Somehow we managed to get a sample lineup of 4 barrels. They were all filled on the same day from the same batch of distillate. On February 28th, 2003. Is that leap day? February 28th? I think that's leap day, right? Well, if so, that's cool. They were rolled away and they sat. It wasn't until October 28th, 2020 that they were pulled out to be bottled exclusively for K&L, officially labeled as the 10-year single barrel. These are distillery confirmed distillation and bottle dates, but do not appear on the bottle. These 17.5-year-old barrels are that same age as the whiskey currently in the Boss Hog, which is a $500 whiskey, y'all know. Instead, check out these 4 barrels for just $90 each. Yes, it is all gone at this point, Fred. These sold out very, very quickly. He is the only admin, Brandon. But I mean, Brandon, if you want, I mean, I don't know if you do Discord, so I added him as an admin because he helped me set it up. But of course, I appreciate him so much. Bite size 8 minutes. Oh no, my whiskey reviews are usually, so yeah. Oh, gotcha. 8. I got it. Yeah. So the bite size reviews are 90 seconds or less. So maybe we're gonna call them speed runs from now on out. Oh, leap day's the 29th. That's right. You guys, God. I'm bad with math. I'm bad with dates. I'm just not the best student, I will say. I graduated with honors, but I'm not the best student. All right, so like I said, 17-and-a-half-year-old single barrel. Now this is at cask strength, I will say. Now we do know that this is, sorry, one of my sample bottles just got knocked over. We do know that this is the Canadian whiskey, of course. It is bottled at 112.5% or 112.5 proof. Now, I thought that was cask strength, but there's a sticker on here that makes me think that maybe they bottle all of it at 112.5. Y'all let me know. Do y'all have any of these 10-year single barrels from WhistlePig? Because this one's at 112.5. I don't know if that's just this one or if that's what they always do. Now, it is a temporary sticker. I'll show if I can see it. It's like separate from the main label, so maybe they added on afterwards. I don't know. Just curious. Steven says, scientist Cliffy is best Cliffy. Oh, but Adriana says, bite size is so good. Okay, we'll figure it out. But I do love the speed run idea. Maybe we should use that as a different idea for a different series. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like I'm totally down. I love the idea. I love the idea of speed run, incorporating into the whiskey thing. So, anyways, yeah. So this is the 17.5 year single barrel. I'll tell you right off the bat, nose is completely different from the what we just did. Now again, this is a $90 whiskey. That one I think is about 30. Maybe that was like 30 or 40. I don't know. It's like in that range. Oh, thank you, Emily. Emily says all Cliffies are good Cliffies. All right, yeah, I appreciate y'all telling me that February 29th is leap day. I'm sorry. I know it was just a leap year this past year, so I should have probably known that. Wow, on the nose, this goes really, really interesting. This has that rye spice that I really like. Now, we do know that the rye they used in this Homestock, that one is Vermont rye. That's their own distillate. This, though, for being 17 years old, this isn't their own distillate. This is probably Alberta. Peter was here earlier. Alberta, there's a name of the distillery. I forget. It's not Alberta Premium, but it's Alberta Distillers or something like that. That's where they get their rye whiskey from. Now, of course, this isn't the blend. Again, this is just the rye whiskey. It's really, really rich on the nose. It goes pretty dark, honestly. For a rye, it goes dark, and I think that's coming from the extra years. I mean, again, 17 years. That's like Wild Turkey, Master's Keep, Bottle and Bond age. So I'm really, really loving the nose. I think the nose on this is fantastic. Swan says, when you get a bunch of samples rolling in, speed run through the samples, you'll hit a point where you've had too many to ever get through. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have like at least like 30 or 40 samples just like sitting there. So that's a great idea, but I will be completely wasted on that. Maybe that could be a fun idea for like a Saturday stream. Thanks for the idea, Swan. That's awesome. Scotch Comic says went to Charleston for Thanksgiving. Bubbles and bourbon. That's like they have so many like wine and like events and stuff there. I really wish I was more into the alcohol scene when I was believe it or not, I wasn't really into alcohol in college. Like I wasn't a partier. I mean, I went to like a couple like parties, like small gatherings, like with friends, and drank, but I wasn't a partier. So like, I kind of feel like I missed out because there are all these really cool food and beverage events in Charleston. So maybe one day I'll go back specifically for one of those. But Charleston is one of my favorite cities in the world, and it always will have a special place in my heart. So, Alberta Distillers, located in Calgary and owned by Beam Satori. Thank you, Andrew. I knew someone would be able to have that information. I'm so unfamiliar with those. Okay, so we are into overtime. So I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna give a speed run of this 17.5-year-old single barrel. Cheers, y'all. Woo. That's hot. And not in a Paris Hilton kind of way. 112.5 proof. That drink's way hotter. That drink's like 120 plus. I'm not gonna lie. Which that's typical with ryes, right? Ryes typically drink higher than their price point. Um, yeah. So Swan says that. So after the speed run, I can party with them. Yeah. No, I think Fred. I think Swan was talking about the speed run. But I mean, if Swan, I think you get a very well resounding invite to our after party tonight if you want to join us. We're going to be starting in like 5 minutes. I promise. I'm finishing up. All right. So that's an interesting. Swan, you get an invite tonight. These guys love you, and you're never here, so you get an invite because you can normally not make it. Unless someone's like, I'm leaving Patreon because you invited Swan. Don't worry. Yeah, so this goes really interesting. So it is that rye spice up front, and it kicks you with that proof. But I will say, that oak, I've never gotten such an oak influence on a rye. And of course, it's 17 years. Like, even with it being a Canadian rye, there's a lot of oak, and it almost is like a... You know what? It's not just oak. It's even like tree sap, and maybe even evolved from that maple syrup. Oh, Canadian, get it. No, I was gonna say molasses earlier, but it's like a mapley. I used to buy these maple candies, and this gives me a lot of those notes. That proof is hot though. It's like catching up to me. But I gotta go in for another sip before we wrap up tonight. Cheers, y'all. No, I paid $90 for this. That's more than I'm normally comfortable paying. The only reason I paid that for this is because I knew it was 17 plus years old. Would I have paid $90 for a... Brandon said earlier, Total Wine had one of these that was 15 years for $90. Would I pay 90 for a 15-year? Yes, probably. But would I pay 90 for a bottle that says 10 years on it? No. Not, especially not knowing it's Canadian. Like, I just typically wouldn't buy that. Now, if I tried it first and I thought it was amazing, then absolutely. But typically I wouldn't buy this. So I did have some inside knowledge about this bottle before I bought it. But that being said, for $90, if you have an older store pick, if you know the age of it, yeah, it kind of gets like a little astringent at the end, but it goes that maple syrup direction. I'm a big fan of that. I think that is a really, really awesome whiskey. Would I seek it out? It's not my favorite thing. I'm going to be honest. It's not my favorite 17-year-old whiskey. Master's Keep. um, oh, okay, Tony. Okay, Tony, that's hilarious. Because I thought your name was Tony Twats, and I was like, I'm not going to say Tony Twats. Tony 2Ts. There we go. Thank you for the clarification, Tony. Because I was definitely thinking Tony Twats. Um, yeah, so I'm a big fan of this one. I wouldn't particularly seek this out unless you know you had a special bottle like a 17 and a half year old. Then by all means definitely seek it out. But it's still it's interesting to have it at cask strength, don't get me wrong, but it's not my flavor profile. Y'all know with a rye, I want it to have lots of that grassy note, lots of that mint. I'm a fan. I know a lot of people aren't. I'm a fan of that. So this isn't quite my style, but knowing how old this is and having so much oak influence, I'm a fan of this one. So if you're ever able to see this one pop up at K&L again, they may have more. Maybe it was just like a first run of it. Keep an eye out for it if you are in the Southern California area, but keep an eye out in your area as well, because surely they're not the only ones that got this. They may be, but I would assume not. But anyways, we are over time. I just want to say thank y'all so much for joining tonight. I appreciate having such an awesome crowd. I mean, new people, people that have been following the channel since the beginning. Y'all are all awesome. If you haven't subscribed again, I know I keep harping on it, but I would love to see you back again on Saturday or next Thursday even. I just really enjoy meeting new people, getting to know people, and that's why I love our Discord so much. It's such a fun community and just a group of friends, a great way to meet new people and just hang out. So with that being said, speaking of hangout, we are doing our after party hangout for everyone $10 and up on Patreon. So if y'all become a patron during this hangout, like I will manually add you in and upgrade you if you're curious, if you want to do it. But if not, any support helps. Again, you can join for as little as $2 a month on Patreon. But until then, until next time, this has been Bourbon Bites, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton. Cheers. And I guess drink more WhistlePig because it was pretty freaking good tonight. Or blend more WhistlePig. That's more like it. All right. Cheers, y'all.